In every transition that I've made, I do the math in my head and then I make the decision in my gut.
The groundwork, I would say, was laid even when I was a kid from my father.
When you have one of these changes in life, these chapters, you don't know how it's going to end.
But what I decided in my life is that I realize you're going to have chapters. Who is the author?
Y'all know how y'all spend days, weeks, months working on something? That's what I low-key been doing the past 4 months. The past 4 months, I've been working every single day on building consciousfoodsmarket.com. If y'all follow us, y'all know that today we're actually having a soft launch for consciousfoodsmarket.com. But y'all might not know that today is special for more reasons than one. We are also hosting the first episode of a new show that we're calling What's on Your Plate. You like that, don't you? Yeah. So what is that? Y'all know how a lot of people in our community is doing podcasts and things like that. Well, this isn't quite that. This is a little more than that, which is why we're calling it a show. So for every episode, what we're doing is we're curating a special dinner and a special topic. And both go back to the question, what's on your plate? For the dinners, we're going to feature a product or a recipe that comes from consciousfoodsmarket.com. And for the topic, we're going to feature a new topic every episode. But the whole point of the topic is for it to help cultivate healing, conversation, connection, self-reflection, and just a safe space for us to be able to help each other understand, move through, gain perspective around the things that's on our plate. So that's what's to it. And today is episode 1. And the name of episode 1 is Starting New Chapters. It's 2026, and we usually attribute new chapters to the top of the new year. But do we always know how to really do that? Do we always know how to start that next chapter that's calling us? Do we always know how to start the next chapter, go into the next chapter, and land in a stable way? Do we always know how to let go of old chapters? These are the different kind of questions that we want to stimulate in the conversation for this episode. So stay tuned, because we're going to get into that conversation with some of our guest speakers, and we're going to get into the beautiful dinner that we have curated for today's episode.
Peace, peace, peace. It is your girl, Eberay.
Indeed, indeed. How you feeling today?
Amazing,
Yeah.
peaceful, ready.
Yeah. What you looking forward to the most?
For dinner. Today, we have a very special meal. We are coming out with the appetizer, which are chips and guac, followed by the main course. I'm very excited for this main course because not only is this a special dinner that we're curating, but it is a new recipe, okay?
What's new about it?
Man, the sauce. I had the pleasure to be around when this sauce was being created. And when I tell you, it is,
Yeah, I know I keep it real. She is telling the truth.
Yeah. So I'm excited for everybody who get to try this meal. So for the meal, we have jerk mushroom tacos, okay? And for the side, we have a seasoned quinoa topped with a conscious sauce with hemp cheese on there. I'm just so excited for this. Are you excited for this?
I'm excited. I'm low-key also excited for like the drink too. You want to tell them about the drink?
Yes.
Yeah.
How could I forget the drink?
I feel you. Like, I won't forget it. Like, when y'all hear about it, tell them about the drink. What else?
For the drink, we have a coconut horchata. It is so good. It's creamy. It is sweet. It is just what you need.
And it's alkaline. And we gonna have herbs in it like clove. Where they doing that? You feel me? Y'all, stay tuned. We really finna get into this. We gonna get into the recipes. We gonna show y'all what the meal is looking like. Y'all gonna feel like y'all are here. So stay tuned. Let's get into it.
This part is simple. All we need to do are blend all of our ingredients, then we have an amazing alkaline jerk sauce. Let's do it. Red onion, dates, tamarind. You know we need the spice. We have habanero peppers. We have ginger. Our various seasonings. Avocado oil. Lime juice, freshly squeezed, and of course, spring water. All right, our jerk sauce is all blended and ready. And just like that, we have our Conscious Foods jerk sauce, alkaline, and ready for purchase on the website, consciousfoodsmarket.com. All right, let's build these tacos. We have our spelled flour tortillas made freshly in-house by Latrell himself. You can find these tortillas on the website at consciousfoodsmarket.com. Next, we have our fajitas, followed by our portobello mushrooms, which is also on the website. Isn't that exciting? consciousfoodsmarket.com. Topped with our jerk sauce. Look at how good those look. You can find this recipe for the jerk mushroom tacos on consciousfoodsmarket.com, along with the products. Now let's get into this conversation.
Alrighty, so um, we all know the topic today, right? What's the topic? Yeah, new chapters, new chapters. By raise of hand, how many people feel like this conversation is relevant to you? That's great because it just kind of hangs on me. So I love that. I love that. Um, okay, so for this conversation, we're also going to have Everett join us shortly as well. But I reached out to individuals that I feel has experience in starting new chapters and landing safe and sound. Um, and two individuals that I feel like I have observed, uh, just transition, go through different chapters, be in one chapter, go to the next, or go to another one, almost seemingly effortlessly, and I feel like in life, we all know that that is a difficult thing. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter what the chapters look like, transition, change can be a difficult thing. And just from a distance, because I don't talk to them every day, I don't observe all of the nuances of their life. But from a distance, I feel like I've observed just grace and flow and transition, whether it's been me just taking in or listening to them, what they're talking about as far as the new chapters that they're in. Um, or not talking about it as much and just observing it, observing it from my own disposition. So yeah, so I felt like also them just being able to offer wisdom as well. You know, also, like I said, have Berettas on the join. So we're gonna have a pretty balanced conversation where our intention is to ask them as many questions as we can on behalf of everybody in this room. But we're also going to open up at the end for Q&A. So if y'all do have questions, if y'all could just kind of hold it to the end, we'll open up Q&A at the end. And yeah, as we go through this conversation, enjoy y'all jerk tacos, y'all. And by the way, that jerk sauce is available for sale over the Twitter or new sauce on the menu. Yeah. Cabaret, when you get a chance, Cabaret, can you bring Sadie's drinks, please? Thank you. Okay. All right, so where I'm gonna start is, well, first, I would like for you all to introduce yourselves to everybody in this room. Just the same thing we did earlier. Who name, what you all do, and we're just kind of leave it there. We're gonna go from there. So as we do this, let's see, how do I want to do this? Do y'all feel like y'all need the mic? I don't think you can hear us in the back. But conduit. Let me see. Can I touch this? No, I can't touch this like this. Yeah, I'll do it. A two. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Perfect. There you go. So what? So you all. I got to do both of these. Please, or no mic, or no. I can do both. You can do both. I can love that. I'm just kidding. And all of a sudden, multitask. Give it up, y'all. Give it no. All right. You gotta go first.
No, not you.
Oh, you got this time.
He did ladies first last time.
You ladies first. I was trying to hide under that one too. All right, everybody. Good evening. My name is Tony Wilkins. I like to tell people I'm from 79th Street. Today, in my 68th year, I am an executive coach and I invest in early stage companies. I invest in startups. I will tell you, to tee it up a little bit, when I was young, when I was 17 years old, I did not like living in my father's house. He was a little tough on us. There were 6 boys, and my goal in life was to not have to ever move back in the house with him when I got out. So I asked him what I should do. He said, be an electrical engineer. And that was my first challenge, to go from living at home and being pretty easy in high school to working very difficult in college. But I'll hold that for later on. But I will tell you that I've had 7 jobs in my career before I became an executive coach and investor. I left 3 of them and got fired from 4 of them. So we'll talk about those transitions, about moving from one job to another. Is that good? It's fair. And
No, keep going. No.
no. Your turn.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
First, I have to say, Latrell, thank you for inviting me here today. I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey and a part of your life. Um, I am.
the
No,
light on.
the lights on.
So just a little closer.
Thank you for, can you guys hear me? Okay. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Maisie Harris, originally from California, but I've been living here in Chicago for pretty much all of my life. I met Latrell through Sherwood. By trade, I am an attorney. In that capacity as an attorney, I've done many things, from working for the city, going into private practice, dealing with real estate, civil litigation, cannabis litigation, DUI law, the gamut. From there, all throughout the whole stretch, I've been an entrepreneur. I've had a cafe, always wanted to think outside the box. So I had a cafe called Chicago's Legal Cafe in the West Loop. It was my law firm housed inside of a cafe. And so I never wanted to have one of those firms where you have the client come and they wait in the lobby or wait in your foyer, and they're waiting there 20, 30 minutes, and you're just important and you just leave them out there. And I wanted them to, interact and come to a comfortable environment, sit, relax, and had 20 plus attorneys on staff, and they would come and they would do consultations for a very low price. From there, I've gone into a gamut of stuff. Currently, right now, I own a cannabis dispensary at the Illinois-Wisconsin border. And the goal in that is to, like he says, I'm into new starts right now. The goal to that is to get to the 10 dispensaries. So I'm here today to speak with you guys and tell you about my starts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. And you, Maisie, thank you, Tony.
Okay, so uh Maisie shared how she's starting or is in a new chapter in her life. Tony is also in a new chapter as well. It's one he can't go too much into detail in right now, but I just want y'all to know he's currently moving into a new chapter as well. So just keep that context for the questions that I ask, right? So my first question to you all is, when did you all realize with the chapters that you're in now or the chapter that you're moving into, when did you all realize it was time? Coming from the chapter previously. And why was that moment so clear?
Yeah.
Well, I would say the chapter I'm in now, I've probably been in for quite a bit of time. And that's a chapter of going from being a person who's taking in more information and knowledge to accepting the fact that you have become an elder and you're supposed to do more talking and training and teaching and coaching and modeling than listening. I still read a lot, I still listen quite a bit, but at 68, many of my mentors are now in their 80s and 90s, are no longer here. So the responsibility, both everything from family reunions to providing perspective and wisdom and insight to community members who are trying to make it to the next level, is a transition. You realize, you look around and you say, okay, well, I'm by far the oldest person here, so I guess I'm the elder. So that takes a minute. And I'm sure many of you have already gotten that when you got to be 20 and a high school student called you sir or ma'am, but it doesn't stop. So that's one of the ones that I'm still getting used to and trying to take that mantle on.
Okay. Which one? You just say either one.
Oh, you got yours. Okay. I'm,
Um,
we're
as
sharing.
Tony stated, the chapter that I'm in now, I have been in this chapter for a while, but I want to just go a little, I say deeper, but I believe that in life, um, living, you're going to, as long as you're living, you're going to have chapters. You're always going, it's going to be something new you're going to experience or you feel. But what I decided in my life is that I realize you're going to have chapters. Who is the author? And if you want someone else to author your life, or you want to be your author. And so it takes a lot of different experiences and things you go through. I wasn't always the author, because that's how we're taught. That's how society has us. You follow rules. You do this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to go to school. You're supposed to do all of this. So once I stopped and I became the author of my life, is when things started working out for me. And I say everything started falling into place. And even if you're in business, if someone else is authoring your life, you can't be fully successful. It has to be you taking the position and being in control of your life and your chapter in order for it to be successful. So that's where I'm at. I'm at the point when it's taken me a long time. He says he's 68. Women don't tell their age, but I'm 58. And so, now people are saying, yes, ma'am. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Don't say that. So it's taken me a while to get here. And, but life doesn't stop. And I say just keep living, even 90. My mother's 91 now, and she's still energetic. She was just driving 6 months ago. So always be in control of your life and writing your chapter.
Okay, you could keep it. I want to ask, what made you realize that this was the chapter for you to go into?
that will go all the way back. It's like things happen to you throughout your life. And my dad, my real dad is from Trinidad. My stepdad is Secretary of State Jesse White. And so, but my dad used to this chapter I'm in is dealing with cannabis. Um, I don't smoke cannabis, but my dad from Trinidad, he used to smoke cannabis, and he would buy these little matchbook. When we lived in California, these matchbook size things, like $50 at the time. I'm like, what is he buying for $50? So, he told me about it, but he told me, he says, don't let anyone tell you that cannabis is bad because we used it for medicinal purposes. So he says, watch the stuff that's sold out here because of the fact that it's laced with stuff. And he says, and make your decision if you wanted to consume it or not. I made a decision that, I didn't want to consume it, but I did see over the years the health effects of it. So when I had the legal cafe, Chicago's legal cafe, I said to myself that if it ever became legal, this is going to take on a whole nother name. And so the groundwork, I would say, was laid even when I was a kid from my father telling me, do not, make your own decisions. I made a decision to go the entrepreneurial way and to allow to be that vessel to allow people to acquire it. And so, so that's how I got into it. It goes back to from a kid. And I feel like part of it is honoring my father in a sense too. In order to doing it, I feel as if, honoring the West Indies, honoring him, and understanding. And I will tell you this too. You talk to some people and people have all these different opinions on it. And it took me a long time too to really be comfortable saying that because of what people's ideas or concepts of what they believe about cannabis. And it took me to, I had to also gauge what my family thought about it. And I say that because I lost a brother due to drugs. And so, with losing a brother to that, I wanted to make sure that my family was okay with me taking this road. And so when I got the blessing from them in order to make sure, and they all invested too, they were 100% behind me. I knew that it was the proper channel to go.
Yeah, yeah. That makes total sense. Okay. So I feel like you already kind of answered that part and when you share. So the next question I want to ask both of you all is you kind of shared it a little bit as far as your family, but what were the fears? The other fears for you, Maisie. What were the fears of whether it was the transition you were describing or the transition you're going through right now? Just the fears that you all have experienced in moving through chapters, and how have you all maneuvered them? How have you all overcome them? And do you all at this point in your journey still fear going into new chapters?
Well, I'll talk about a past chapter. Uh, when I was about 25, 26, I decided that I wanted to go from engineering, which is a kind of a legitimate job. People know what doctors, lawyers, nurses, engineers do, into finance. And I had learned enough about finance that this is what I wanted to do because it was another way to make money and I could understand it having been an engineer. Well, when I told my father that I was going to switch over to engineering, he was like, or switch over to finance. He said, why would you do that? I don't know what finance is. And it was kind of shocked me because up to that point, he had always said, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. I'll support you. And once you have an engineering job, you really kind of have a job for life. Some of my buddies who graduated with me are still engineers and they're way up the totem pole and they know more engineering than most of the people that are with them. So it was a big leap to say, I'm going to let go of engineering and go into finance. Because to tell you the truth, I'm not sure I knew what finance really was at the time. I just knew people made a lot of money. So the fears I had were, number one, am I going to look like an idiot?
Hello.
Are my family members and my friends going to say, why did you do that? You don't really know finance. You spent all these years being an engineer. Why wouldn't you just keep doing that? So you feel a little silly. Then you get in and you look at some of the people you're competing with, and you go, well, am I good enough to compete with them and earn my living? Maybe I should just go back and be an engineer. Maybe I moved to Chicago. I had a job in Detroit if I wanted to go back and be an engineer. Should I just be smaller and fit into what I know, or should I take that leap? And have any of you all seen the movie Inception?
Yeah.
Right. So I was watching Inception on the plane in from Nairobi this afternoon, and there was a line in that movie which really, really stuck with me. It's probably relevant for this conversation, which was this one gentleman was asking another man to take on a job, and the guy wasn't sure he wanted to take on the job, but it was going to be a life changing situation. He said, this is a situation, my friend, where you either take a leap of faith or you become an old man living by yourself, waiting to die alone. I thought, wow, a leap of faith is a big deal. So when you have one of these changes in life, one of these chapters, uh, you don't know how it's going to end. You don't know the middle. You just know the first few words in the beginning. And if your situation is like mine or like many other people, you have more than a few folks who you know and love and trust who say, are you out of your damn mind?
I feel
But you have to look past that. And I will say the last thing to this point about taking a leap of faith. In every transition that I've made, whether it's personal, business, or relationships, I do the math in my head and then I make the decision in my gut. And my gut has never been wrong. It's been scary, it's been terrifying, but it's never been wrong.
back it.
So that's yours.
Interesting question. First, that was a great answer. I think I want to say curiosity. I feel as if you don't do it, if you think about it, you don't do it, you never know if it can come to fruition. You know what? So I rather just go on the side of trying it.
Mm.
Um, then too, I think that I don't know, I just do it. I'm just kind of like, I don't know, I'm just just do it. I just say, okay, let's do it. I don't, I just do it. I don't know what to say. I just decide to do it and I do it. I'll tell you one little thing though and it's kind of, I say emotional, but I was in law school and yeah, I better not tell it because I may cry.
Don't tell her. I get a napkin, carry it.
No, I realized that I was about to do a my first no, I better not tell it.
Problem.
Yeah, I was gonna do my first trial. I was in my second year of law school, and it's weird. I don't know how. I was in my second year of law school, and it was a 2L. You'll know what that's 2L, and that's where you're able to work at different locations. So I was going to work at the public defender's office. I went to work at the public defender's office, and you're working under someone as a 2L. And then they gave me the first, thank you. They gave me they said I was going to do a misdemeanor trial. And it was just a traffic offense. So, you're excited, you call your family up and you're like, hey, I'm doing my first trial. And then I'm not going to tell you who the person was, but they said, oh, they couldn't hire a real attorney, huh? And I said, excuse me? And then they doubled down. They're like, yeah, I said they couldn't hire a real attorney because they hired you. And I was like, well, at first they didn't hire me because, it's public defender. And then I thought about it. I said, okay, I can let that somebody's trying to tear you down that you're so close to. But what he did, he gave me strength. And so what I do is that anything that,
It's headache.
this is being recorded.
Mhm.
So anything that,
Mhm.
you know, any kind of, I go over it. I don't let anybody stop me. So that just gave me the courage to do so.
Should be agreed. Listen, it's just
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Man, I'm always say there's strength and vulnerability. It's just being transparent and keeping it real helps people to connect to what they really going through. Guess and I feel like we all should applaud, honor these moment from her because as long as I've known her, which it really isn't at that long, but you know how you know somebody you just connect. Like I'm just felt connected to Maisie. I've always observed her to be a strong woman, very strong woman. Like I've always felt that from her. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is a very sacred moment for her to go into a story that allowed her to be so vulnerable just to share something that might be helpful. You know, I just imagine the amount of barriers that she's, you know, overcome. So, being, quick thought, I just feel
Okay.
okay. That's like, I mean, I kind of want to share mine, but this isn't about me. um, yeah, if y'all got questions for me, we can be better. Once y'all I'll put my like on public display if somebody really comes up to me to go into my own story. Everybody kind of know what it is or something. Okay, cool. I do want to ask another question. We got a few more questions, and then we're gonna get to Q&A. We're not gonna drag this out too long. I don't know. I hope the question that we had to ask so far, the things that we have been able to give has been helpful. As purity and intention. So the next question I have is, um, the transition period. So let's say coming from a chapter, you all kind of spoke on it a little bit. Well, I want to dive deeper into the transition part. Um, let's say you're coming out of a chapter that maybe to some degrees you're a little entangled for whatever reason. And it is that as easy to end or previous chapter. But you know you need to, and it's time to move on. How do you all go about the transition out, letting it go and moving over, allowing something to give? Maybe it does this season. Maybe it takes the back seat. Maybe it becomes a little parallel to what's new. Like new becomes more of the focus. Like that's from deep. That's what it is for me. With conscious plates and conscious foods. Conscious foods is more the focus. But it took me so long to figure out how to transition to something that I felt drawing me to it. Didn't know it would be this, but I knew it was something else. I was like entangled. So that question even comes from me having had to go through that myself, and I'm still going through it of balancing out something that I don't want to necessarily just let die off because it has purpose, but then also being able to fully present and challenge. Like Macy, I don't know, is your practice still going? You don't have an answer yet, but just however, wherever that question lands, okay. However, whatever wisdom you all can share is better. Yeah. Who wants to go first? Okay.
Just been her.
Okay. Um, so for maybe, let's see, from 1986 and 2012, 2018, 2000. What's 86 to two? How many years is it from 86 to 2019? You pick 23?
No, 13, right? In 6 to 2000. Wait, no, I'm way off.
Everybody's math is bad. Don't worry about it. It's a lot of years. Somebody's going to get a calculator. It's a lot of years. I think it's 30 years, something like that.
30, like 13.
It's all right. 86, 96, 06, 16, 33 years.
Oh,
So for 33 years, I proudly got up in the morning. I put on a freshly starched shirt with French cuffs and a silk tie and a wool suit and some nice shoes and went downtown into a big office with a secretary out in front and other colleagues in boardrooms where we would sit and make decisions about hundreds of millions of dollars, travel around in business class, go to Hong Kong, go to London for different meetings. So it was quite the thing that you see on TV. Strolling through with all the high class people in the airports and all this kind of stuff for 33 years. Now, some transitions you decide to go through, other transitions are forced on you. And although I said earlier I've had 4 jobs, I've had 7 jobs. 4 I got fired from, 3 I got 3 of them I left. When I got into my 60s, I kind of knew that this chapter was going to come to an end. I wasn't going to work forever. And I had been doing early stage investing, startups since 91. And then in 2016, I started doing executive coaching. Well, executive coaching was just kind of fun. And investing in startups was like intelligent lottery tickets, but it wasn't paying my bills. It was just a little something else. And then in 2019, when I got laid off for the last time, laid off, fired, whatever, the suit and tie business went away. The flying business class went away. And it was simply figure out how to pay your bills from the startup companies you invested in and the executive coaching business. And I thought to myself, am I going to be able to get enough clients to pay for my lifestyle? Now, don't get me wrong. I had enough money to probably be okay, but there's nobody who has made a lot of money and stops making money that doesn't want to see that big check come in. Nobody. And if they tell you they do, they're lying to you. So for the first few months, people would say, hey, man, there's a job in New York. You want to come to New York and work for blah, blah, blah company? And I go, I could live in New York, but I hate New York. We got this other job. Oh, you're on the market? You could come. You're not working at Bank of New York Mellon anymore? Oh, man, come work for State Street. We're in Boston. You'd be great. We got a job with your name on it. I hate Boston more than I hate New York. And it was at that point where I was going, I was 62. I'm 62. I'm like, if I don't stop now, there is no point that I'm going to stop. There's not going to be a better time. So let me just lean into faith on this. Let me tell my folks to stop calling me about jobs because I'm not going to take another job. I'm going to focus on my startup companies and I'm going to focus on my executive coaching. So to an extent, that past life was taken away. Now, fortunately, it had been taken away several times before, so I wasn't crying in the corner in a fetal position, crying about not having a job. But the temptation to go back to what was easy and what I knew and what was comfortable and how I could move in the world was tough. And those first few mornings when I woke up and didn't put on a suit and didn't go downtown to the office, didn't have a flight scheduled someplace, I was like, am I going to be okay with this? But again, I think as you get older, and you are in community with people like this who tell you it's going to be all right, you're going to be fine. You've got a community to help you. You've got somebody to talk to. It seems like the 6 years ago when that last paycheck came in from the big company went by so fast. My life is so much better. I'm having so much fun and living so much bigger. I think the thing that I keep in mind is, do you want to accept the challenge to be a bigger person? Or do you want to crawl back into the shell you came out of and just be safe? And then I remember to myself, there's no such thing as safety. You have to stick your neck out and just keep pushing forward and find as many people who can help you and support you and have faith that the next step, the next phase is going to be better than the one you're coming out of. So that's how I kind of deal with it.
Hi.
Boy.
Yes. Want to go? Here. Interesting because as he was talking, I was just thinking about my life and just thinking about the transition. Um, it's interesting, like he said, I was administrative law judge for both two governmental agencies. And even though I was really making more just in investments, I got into crypto when Bitcoin was $1,000. And so, I had more than these jobs, but it still felt funny to give them up because it was a steady paycheck. I don't know, it's weird to explain it to you, but it was just consistent. Now there's a fear that comes in like, are you going to, are you going to be successful? But then I had to think, you're already successful. you know this is just another transition on that, you know on your journey, on your chapter. So um I'm just going back to just do it. I just continue to do it. I had the support of my family and the inner support. I want to say the man above, if you want to call him God or whatever. And I just continue to do it. And I would say one other thing too. Tony talked about his age, 68. I think we start living for others.
Mm.
And as you get older, you realize there's only so much money you can have. There's only so much, but it has to be something larger than that. So I say that is that I feel like I'm building for the next generation. Okay. I don't have kids, but I do have 5 nieces and nephews, and they say I'm the best auntie ever. And so when I did the cannabis, it wasn't just about me, it was about that generational wealth and leaving it for the future. And my nephew, who's also an engineer, he came into the business with me. And he's going to take us so much farther than I can take it. And his ideas and the way, so it's like I'm setting up for the next generation. And it was important for me to do that. It was important for me to leave these jobs, leave the salary, leave my comfort zone, and in order to help the next generation. So just do it.
May I ask, is your yeah, no, indeed, absolutely, definitely. Over. I just wanted to ask, is your practice still going, and are you balancing both, and what's that like?
Okay. My practice is still going, but I don't see as many clients. With being into DUI law, real estate, I've had clients for a long period of time. So those clients, like DUI law, it takes us a process. If you've had like 2 or more DUIs, you're not getting your license for like 4 or 5 years, as you have to stay on for 2 years and keep. So they're with you for a while. So those clients I take, but I don't take on any new clients. When you deal with litigation, it can take years. So you're still in cases that you can't, just say, I'm going to withdraw from the case. I have a commitment to my client. So I'm still in it. I'm still representing clients, still have my law firm, but I don't take as many. I don't take a lot of new clients at this point. Yeah.
Got I, I just want to double click on something that she said earlier about transitions. You were saying you're preparing for the next generation in your family. Uh, I'm at a point where, my kids are 35, 30, and 30 years old. They're already up and on doing their own thing. So now that that phase is gone, this is the phase that I find to be so interesting and exciting and challenging is uh, finding people like Latrell who can help me bridge that gap from being a downtown international corporate executive to being someone who is relevant to folks who are in the neighborhood, starting their companies, building their wealth in a way that's authentic and relatable, and having that bridge to prepare the next generation of community to be successful is very, very exciting. Sometimes I walk into a room like this and I think, am I wearing clothes that make me look like grandpa? Am I gonna say something like Rolodex or Memorex and have people go, what are you talking about? Don't let me say Pinto or Vega, something like that. But trying to make sure that the the ability to shorten your learning curve and help you avoid avoidable mistakes without sounding like Uncle Billy sitting in the corner at the family reunion and say, okay, yeah, fine, Uncle Billy, shut up. We're gonna go listen to some music. That's a challenge. And you all will all hit that moment at one point where people are not listening to the same music, wearing the same clothes, or remember the same things that happened in history, and trying to figure out how to adjust your language to be useful is another challenge in the another chapter in the play. So working on that too.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Just to piggyback what you said, yeah, even to talk about my nephews, but with Latrell, I love it when Latrell calls me, he needs some legal advice. You try to be that guidance for the younger businesses. And so, I was so proud when he called me to help them even establish this. And, that's what we, say elders mature, we all call it mature individuals are
Elders,
supposed to.
okay. You're not an elder
I'm
yet.
not elder yet, but mature.
I'm an
mature,
elder.
right? So yeah, so this is about giving back, about helping the younger generation, and I'm just happy to be a part of your journey, and happy to be able to assist you as well as any other younger entrepreneurs in their journey. So you know, yeah, so that's what it's about.
The thing.
Yep. Something
Oh, Mike Kings can answer that.
that
Mm.
thing would be like,
Okay. I just want to say I really appreciate hearing this um, because growing up in a time when you are taught that, corporate is the way or you need to go to school for X amount of years, I just remember a couple times where it's like somebody asks me what my plan is. And I say what my plan is. They're like, oh, you're not going to be nothing in life? Um, and truly walking into learning what trusting your intuition and trusting what you feel, your purpose is, I'm starting to see that like high vibration, and all those things flow into me. Whereas before I'm working in a coffee shop, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't go no further from here. What's next? Or I'm thinking about, okay, they say that I should work at a job for 20 years and then wait for retirement. So to really hear these mature adults talk about trusting in yourself and flowing through that, that's very motivational for me. So I just want to say thank you for sharing that.
thank you for sharing this thought.
And I really fully school. Okay. Well, wow, that I'm full of real conversation. Definitely gonna keep asking questions, but I would feel like I would be forcing additional questions. So I feel like this is a good moment to open it up for anybody that has questions, things. Um, if you do have a question, get ready to in. I'll bring the mic over and the speaker. Y'all got to do both too. And yeah, we also love to move right to this conversation with Q&A. Questions?
How's better?
Interrupted.
How y'all doing? Yeah, but I covered it. Okay, my name is Mercedes, and I wrote down a couple questions, but I'm just ask one. So one, so one question I wanted to ask y'all are,
is, um, what does your daily habits look like for someone that is, like as successful in running businesses, you know, like y'all? So like, what does your daily habits look like? Mhm. Oh,
Thanks, Mercedes. I'll just run you through my daily habit, okay? Uh, I wake up when I wake up.
Yes, but those
Now you're probably thinking, oh, you get up at 8, 9 o'clock. No. I used to watch older guys do this too, and I was like, why do you just wake up at 5:30 in the morning? I can't wake up at 5. I can't get to work at 7:30 in the morning. For some reason, I don't know what it is. As you get older, you don't need as much sleep. So I usually wake up about 5:30. No alarm clock, I wake up. I always give myself 15 minutes to just ease into the day. I just want to think about what am I doing today? What do I have to do? How am I feeling? I get up, I go and make myself a cup of coffee every day. I am addicted to coffee, proudly, just say it. But I have a cup of coffee because that at the end it helps me to start to kind of work my way into the day. I get dressed. I have a list of things that I wrote the night before that I need to get done. I start working through that list. About 10 o'clock, I'll get my first bite to eat. I'll do some kind of walking around or stretching. Sometimes in the morning, I'll go out and do a long bike ride, 15, 20 miles, come back, shower up. And then my creative part of the time when I have to respond to emails and say something creative or maybe present a proposal or put something out, a bill, that's from 10 to 2 when I'm the most creative for the day. Then I'll have another little bite of something to eat, nothing big, and then start to do the boring stuff like pay bills or read emails I don't really need to get back in touch with or send out invoices. And then by about 5 or 6, it's time to have a real meal, sit down, chill, read, go for another walk, and then probably scroll till about 9, 9:30, and then get to bed about 10 to 30. That's my day.
Okay, interesting. I start my day. First, I want to say now I'm taking care of my mother who's 91, so my day is a little different now. So I make sure that the morning is for me. So I get up about 5 something in the morning. I'm at yoga now, hot yoga at 6 o'clock. Um, and I think then if I that day, if it's available, I will either I do cold plunging and I do the sauna. So I try to do yoga one day, cold plunging and stuff the second day, but I try to make sure that I do something every day. When I cold plunge, it just gives me like this erase of energy, and I'm just ready for the entire day. From there, I go over to the dispensary. I make sure that our staff gets in at 8 o'clock. I make sure that I'm there before the staff arrives. So I get there about um, when yoga's out 7. I try to get there by like 7:30, 7:45. And meetings, there's always a cultivator. There's always somebody that wants to meet with you. So I try to take those meetings from like about 10 o'clock to about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then I fit my clients in that afternoon. But at the same time, while I'm fitting my clients in, I get back to the house to make sure that my mother has lunch, and I try to spend some time with her because it's not just you don't want to run in and out. I'm busy. You need to engage her too and talk to her and make sure she's okay. Then I'll go back to the dispensary, or I may have something where I have to run to Chicago. So I had to move up to by the border. So I'm an hour and plus away from Chicago where I may have to run in. And then my day ends late. I will go back because some of my friends would tell you I'm just work overkill. I'll go back to dispensary closes at 9 o'clock. I will get home about like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then that's when I start. I'm really intrigued right now with all of this AI. And so I find that I'm up learning the AI and all the different ways of working with it. So I may stay up till about 1 o'clock or so with that because you have to give time to that. And like it says, as you get older, I don't feel like I need a lot of sleep. And my body's on a clock. I'll just get right back up. I don't need an alarm clock. I don't need anything. And just start the next day over again. So I get about 5, 6 hours of sleep a night, but that's more than enough for me. And when I get in that cold plunge, all of it is I'm awake. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I think the question with us, sir, already it's about man. I keep us been here. I mean, cut. I went to know when Latrell decided he was learning how that works out. And I see that he has made whole plate, man. But he for
Baby steps, baby steps. Yeah, yeah.
listen, this is good to me. It's delicious.
Hello, I am Kristen. Thank you all for being here. You all spoke a lot about transition and just the fortitude and the trusting your intuition it takes to get there. My question is, how do you know when to um, leave some people who cannot come with you and when to reach back with people who are in your circle, in your family? How do you know, or what was your tell sign of when there's someone who needs the journey that you're going through versus someone who has to find their own path?
I love that question. Yes, amazing question. Yes. It's like, yeah, go for it. What? What's your name? Kristen. That's a deep question. It's a deep question. I'll start with the end and work my way backwards. I stopped trying to drag people along with me. Relatives, boys I grew up with. I stopped trying to drag them with me. When somebody said to me, Tony, you have to stop painting people with the Tony Wilkins brush. Not everybody's you. And it felt kind of weird because I'm used to being that. I'm the oldest of 6. I'm used to dragging people along. But I eventually found out that nobody is me. Nobody is me. And I began to think about who they were and what they were ready for. And as you pointed out precisely right, there are some people who aren't ready yet, and there are some people who are never going to be ready. And they might be family members, they might be your ace booney from way back, but you do have to separate from them so that you can flourish and be who you can be. A lot of times, most times, I'm a little hard-headed because it takes me a while to figure stuff out. But there were many people in my life where when I finally did separate from them, it wasn't like, well, thank you for doing what you did. It was like, I want even more. How can you leave me to go do this thing? First time would happen when I went off to college and graduated and kept going. I think a lot of people thought I was going to come back to the neighborhood. When I got married and moved on, when you get married, your running buddies cannot run anymore. When you have kids, you drop another set of friends off too. When you get older, and like for me, I have buddies who are sitting at home watching Bears reruns and Sunday Night Football. I don't own a TV. I'm doing this because this is what gives me energy. I always say to you, Christine, here's the thing. Oh, you're not in the conscious place. But I'm going to give you, can I borrow your phone? I'm going to give you what I told my friends at the conscious place, and you all will remember this. Here's how you decide who you keep working with and who you let go, Christine. You ready? You got one of these? All right. It's called the Tony Wilkins Cringe Test. I've developed this over many, many years, and it works perfectly. Tony Wilkins Cringe Test goes like this. If you pick up your phone and go, oh, it's Christine, hold on a second. You keep working with those people. If you pick up the phone and go, this motherfucker, let them go. They're either not ready or they're never coming along, and you can't afford to waste the time with them. Okay? You're welcome.
I would say Christina. Is Christina or Christine? Kristen. Kristen. The fact that you asked that question means that you've let people go or you're letting them go. You're on that transition and you know what you have to do. Um, I always say that the higher power will tell you. You will know when to let people go. And a lot of times you don't have to because they're going to fall off. God's going to help you do it. So just say continue to run your race. Continue to if people, let me say, everybody doesn't have to benefit you, but if you don't get excited around them, if they don't bring some kind of energy to you, or if it isn't some kind of a peacefulness about them or something, it's something where it's always an irritation or agitation or this or they're never happy for you, that means it's time for a transition. And you kind of know when it's time. And for you to ask that question means that you know that there are some people in your life that you either transition away from, and in order to bring out a much greater Christian.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking of a quote somebody sent me when I was going through something like this with somebody. They said, um, you should spend time with people who want things for you, not from you.
Yep.
And you can just monitor that. If you keep that in the back of your mind, it will become available to you. The people who want you to have a good life, either help you out, move you along, or they're constantly pulling.
Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions? Right.
Thank you. Peace, everyone. My question would be, when you transition from being self-employed to being a business owner, and you envision creating this team now that's going to be part of your mission, your purpose, your movement, how did you distinguish between like what the team is going to look like, who's going to play what role, what responsibilities you're going to be able to let go of? Because when you have that purpose and that vision, it's so detailed and you have so many hats, like Detrell was saying. But like, how are you then delegating these hats to other people when you are in transition to becoming that business owner?
Faith Mason, let you take it.
Yeah, let me take this one. Okay. So
It.
you said, how did you know who would be a part of that?
How do you know how to let go of your patch? Then we work 6, 7 hats for adults. But for the people work, you know what you probably do.
Yeah.
Calling other people then to support you, like your group, your mission.
It's a very, very good question that you ask. And my nephew is my business partner. And what I do is that the fact that he's much younger and I'm there still to be a guide for him or to show him how to properly run a business, as he proves or shows more to me, and it doesn't mean where he knows he's proven something. I look at him, I see how he's taken on the role of leader. I see how the staff interacts with him and how they treat him. I loosen the reins. I step back. You know, he has shown that he can take this to the next level. So it's just me setting up, being his guide, allowing him to step into the man that he's becoming. And then with that, you just, loosen the reins. Um, I may not always be the CEO. I may allow for him to transition into that role, but I'll always be auntie and guidance. And so, it's just in time, it will happen, and it's happening now. And it's a great thing to see him blossoming. And we have to step back and allow for the younger generation to find their voice to become, especially for young men. I'm going to be honest with you. Um, we have to allow for them to step into their manhood, women step into their womanhood, but and we have to be guides. We have to be guides. So that's where I'm at in my life now. I like I said, I took this on to really assist him too. But feel like I'm his uh his guide in life, and I have to be able to step aside at some point and say, "Here it is, continue." Yep.
So I have a quote that I use, which is trust but verify.
Trust and verify. There you go.
Nobody's going to do it the way you two will do it. Nobody.
Yeah.
Accept that. But lower your expectations. So say, I don't really expect this person to do what I do, but I'm going to give them a chance, and here are the standards that I need them to come up to. And be very clear. Co-create those standards with them. Can you make 5 widgets in an hour? Yes, I can. I could make maybe 6. Okay. Make 5. Make 5 widgets, and we'll give you more responsibility. It's kind of, if you think of an analogy, all of us learn how to drive a car. Our parents at some point had to say, you know enough to let me give you the keys and drive around the corner by yourself. So trust but verify and turning the keys over to the car. You're going to expect that maybe there's going to be a fender bender at some point. But as long as they don't kill themselves or kill you or your business, that's fine. And the last thing I would say, which you've heard me say before, which I will say over and over and over again, nobody separates from people they need to separate from soon enough. Nobody I know, nobody I've ever experienced, have I ever fired somebody sooner than I should have fired them. You always give them a little more time than they have to. That's okay. That time will shorten up as you become more experienced. But remember, it's okay to let people go because they're not ready. They're not ready for you, or they're just in the wrong spot and have changed out, and you have to let them go so that you can flourish and that they can flourish.
I just want to piggyback off his analogy of the car. So I took the car keys and my parents was in there, they were in there having a party. I took the car keys and just drove. Didn't know what I was doing, but I drove and realized I could drive on the first time driving. So just believe in yourself. Like I said, then when my mother came out and she had been drinking, I said, "Ma, I know how to drive. I can drive us home." And I drove my mother home. And so the analogy of the car, just do it, and you'll be okay.
I think I memorized her philosophy.
Right, just do it. Nike needs to hire me. Yeah,
All right.
just do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, should I say my name? Oh, I'm Jasmine. My question was, what are some of your favorite books that have helped you get to where you are, both in business and in life?
That's good.
You're recording this, right?
Steve, I got
I'm going to give you a bunch of them. Don't try to write them down. He'll give them to you later. Or you can put it on dictation, see if it'll pick up my voice. I read the Bible from the beginning to the end by myself. It took 17 months. But that was important because when people try to tell you the Bible says this, the Bible says that, you have your own impression. That's important. How to win friends and influence people. Never split the difference. Bury my heart at wounded knee, so you know how this country really got built and be able to deal with it anyway. There's a book called Think Again. Another book called Black Swan, which will tell you that bad things are going to happen, and you shouldn't spend your life trying to figure out why it happened, because just sometimes bad stuff happens and there's no reason, so you just need to move on. Those are the first ones that come to my mind. Got them?
Ross.
All right.
I'll just name a few. The Power of Now, Think and Go Rich, The Secret. I'm always still picking up The Secret. And then I would say even in practice of law, it was just books like stories. I'm a big John Grisham fan. So I think almost every John Grisham book, The Rainmaker, I've read it. So, but I would say Think and Grow Rich, The Secret, Power of Now. Yep, some of the good books.
You made me think of one other book, The Alchemist.
Yeah, I was definitely gonna say that. I was gonna say The Alchemist, and I have to add also, this is for the men in here, The Way of the Superior Man. That's a top-notch book. You read that, Tony?
I
You don't need to. You good. Okay. Any other questions? Going once, going twice.
I have a question. I just don't know how to. I don't know how to say it. Where's the basic?
Spit it out.
I agree.
Spit it out.
Yeah.
Um, even if I want to do what he's doing. I want to do my version of conscious place to contribute to the community. I've tried to work with people, and for whatever reason, and I'll take the blame that maybe I'm the reason that it didn't work out. But I'm in a position now where I have to do it. I have to do this. I and I got a lot on my plate. I'm a father of 2 kids. I homeschool my kids. I'm a barber. I work 10 to 12 hours a day. I I have no life. This is what I'm dedicated to. I'm making time for this. But how I don't I really don't know what to do next other than trying to build the infrastructure and how this is going to run. I'm trying to build a menu. I'm trying to learn from him. But I really don't know what to do next with a brick and mortar, a food truck. I I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize my kids' future with taking out a loan and doing things because I don't have it together yet to know if this is going to work. I believe in myself, but it's got to make sense. I've taken a lot of risk in my life, but this is one risk that I'm not willing to take unless I know for sure that this is going to work. So I don't know what I don't know. I just don't know what to do next. So
Gotcha. Can I just say, he said he got a lot on his plate. What's the name of this show, y'all? Oh, stop that. Okay. I had to. Oh my God. Thank you for putting it out there, for asking, bro. Like there's power in the fact that you even just expressed that. Oh man, in this room, because yeah, I feel like you asked at the right time, the right people. You feel me? Like I'm glad you asked the question. I felt it. I'm so happy about this. Okay, I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's go.
tell me your name again.
Will. Will.
Will. Will, I'm going to push back on you on one thing. You said you don't have a life.
Yep.
You have a wonderful life.
Yeah.
You have children. Are they healthy?
Yeah.
That's a blessing. You have a successful barbershop that's paying for, well, you don't eat that much, we know that. But I'm sure your children eat regularly. And as a father, that is what our job number one, and we can never forget that. Food, shelter, protection. So it sounds like you're doing that. I have always had a 9 to 5, a 5 to 9, and a 9 to midnight job. Just like Maze, I don't sleep that much at all. But sometimes the timing is not right. It might not be the time for you to do this just now. If I was still working a corporate job, I wouldn't have the time to do this. But as one time when my father had retired, I said, "Dad, you got a great life. You get up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Takes you an hour to brush your teeth, another hour to read the newspaper. Then you go golfing for a couple of hours and come back. You get a check in the mail from Social Security and Chicago teachers. That's pretty cool. I can't wait." He said, "Have you worked 40 years?" I said, "Oh, no, now I've worked 40 years. Now I can afford to take a flight in from Nairobi, land at 1, be here at 4, and hang out with y'all." So sometimes the timing's not right. And what you can do when the timing's not right is prepare. Practice a few menus at home on your own stove. Try it out yourself, write them down, perfect it. Let some people try it. They say, how old are your children?
18 little bit.
Yes.
They say that, and I know this is true, the days are long, but the years are short. So before you know it, you'll only have an 11-year-old who'll be 15 who'll be 16, who have car keys, who won't want to be with you. And then that opportunity that you have prepared yourself for will manifest itself probably in a way better than you can imagine right now. So patience right now is what I would say you've got going on. Tend to what's on your plate right now as best you can, and then your business will show up when it's time. Okay.
I'll piggyback what he said. First, you do have a beautiful life, and when it's time, it will happen. Words are powerful too. I want to tell you that. And what I had to do was I had to stop using words like "I'm trying," I'm about to, or I can't. Right. So change your words because that's very powerful. And once I did that, things open. Just say I am. I have a big on my wall right by my bed. My mother did it for me. What do you call it? She rug making, yeah, rug making, and she did I am for me. And when I look at that, it was I would say I can't, or I'm trying, or I'm this. And now I look at that, and all I say is I am. I am doing this. I am doing that. I am doing. So you'll change your words, and you'll see that's very powerful. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Round of applause. One in a second. Man, any other questions? Shep. Okay. All right. All right.
It's
Oh,
it's actually not a question.
okay.
It's actually not a question. I was just sitting here and wanted to acknowledge and say thank you. Y'all really blessed us tonight. Like from everything, every single part of the meal to the conversation to just the energy in this space is so beautiful and radiant. All the foods, the drinks, and I'm just sitting in gratitude to be present in this space and to know that we have this community here. And so it's not a question. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Latrell, everybody a part of it, all of the mentors present, and everybody who just showed up because we need to be the change that we see in our community. And all of us are going to go back to our homes and continue these conversations. And so thank you all for the inspiration.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Really.